What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of The Shift Show with Chris Hinckley and Weston Ritchie. Today we have a very special guest, close friend of mine, and an incredible human. His name is Charles Leno Jr., a devoted husband, father of three, former standout NFL left tackle, and resilient entrepreneur. From a late round pick in the 7th round in 2014 to becoming a Pro Bowl lineman, Charles spent nearly a decade anchoring offensive lines in Chicago and Washington. He navigated major contract extensions, leadership roles, injury setbacks, and even the personal trials of some difficult times, all with unwavering strength. Whether on the field or facing life's toughest moments, his story is one of persistence, leadership, and human grit. Welcome, Charles.
Appreciate that, man. That was amazing.
Incredible.
You wrote that?
I wrote that myself.
All right. No,
believe it or not.
Okay, all right,
memorized
cool.
and everything.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's all good.
Thanks for coming, man.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you.
No problem.
Well, today we're just going to talk a lot about sports, but more so about you. The Shift Show is all about going from civilian life to sports, sometimes even professional, in your case, and then shifting from professional sports to civilian life again, and the shift between the two and the connections. And so today we're just going to take a deep dive into your story, what football means to you, what family means to you, and just a lot about your life, man. So
right on. I'm ready for it.
Excited to have it.
Charles, bro, thank you for coming. I know you drove out here. We're excited, bro. And I don't know if y'all know actually the size of Charles, but you walked through the door and he was sitting down and then he stood up and I was like, I need a step stool. The guy is a monster. She has to walk through the door sideways.
Oh, not anymore. Not sideways.
Hey,
not anymore. You know, I lost a
wait,
little
so
pound.
tell him about it. How much weight you lost, bro?
Man, since 2024 January, I lost almost 75 pounds.
Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll kind of talk about that, but like, dude, what was your playing weight?
Anywhere between 315. Well, early in my career, I was lighter because I always was a person that had to eat a lot just to like maintain weight. But probably like when I was finally like settled in, probably like in between 310 and 320.
Big dog.
Yeah.
How fast are you running a 40 at 315, 320?
I don't even, you can't time us at that point. You know, I was real slow.
Were you?
Yeah, I'm like, in comparison to where I was like when I first got into the NFL, I was like 295, like barely making 300, you know? So
How fast are you running?
Left
Were you
tackle,
fast,
I
though?
know
Oh,
you're
I
not
was
slow.
quick. I was quick when I was younger, but then when I got older, you know, start putting more weight on, having more kids. Experience over everything, you know. That's why guys like, you know, Brady did it for so long. The mind is so sharp that I kind of like know what these guys are going to do before they even do it, you know.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Well, dude, let's dive back in way back before that.
Come on.
Like, what made you? Have you always been into football, or were you in other sports?
Nah, so the only time I got into football was when my dad had Raiders tickets. So I'm born and raised in Oakland, California. Love the Raiders. Not anymore now. Well, actually, I do. Love Ashton Denty, Boise State guy. Shout out Boise. You know, my dad had Raiders tickets. Then he got rid of them for whatever reason. So we would go to the games and stuff like that. I liked football, but I didn't love it. I love, and still to this day, love basketball. Basketball was my sport when I was here till now. Like, if I could have did anything, I would have been a professional basketball player. But when I got to high school, I realized, like, you know, start trying to dive in. Like, okay, where can I go if I want to play hoop? I was like, okay, I'm 6'3" or 6'2" right now. You know, let me see what the center is looking like. 7 foot. I ain't making that, you know. So then it was like one of my friends and Corey Howard. Shout out Corey Howard. He actually told me to play transition over to football when I was in high school. So my sophomore year is my first time ever playing football, ever, like padded football, first time ever.
Wow.
So it was different, you know. It was just it was a different sport. It was challenging. I remember my first hell week that we had, like it was just all like sled pushes and cone drills and doing all like the stuff to kill you. Basically, it was like a long line of like 150 guys, and then he's trying to narrow it down, you know, to see who really want to play. And if you quit, you off the field. And that's one thing I never was gonna do. Like I was just raised by my grandparents and my grandmother that you don't quit. If you start something, you finish it.
Never quit, bro. We got that
My mama told me
tatted.
that too. Like if you start something, finish. Like I don't care if you want to quit at the end of the season, but you're gonna finish that season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna finish it and you're gonna get it done. So once I had that mentality, it was like, all right, man, I'm starting to like this. And then I just blossomed, man. I was just an athlete, and I was like a chunkier kid back when I was in like middle school. Then once I got to high school, I started slimming down, and then I became like my own. Like I'm starting to like grow and become more athletic. That's when everything just took off for me. And then football was, I'm 100% basketball was a sport that spearheaded that.
Well, I feel like, this is personal opinion, but I feel like basketball, you have to be so athletic to run up inside, like back and forth of the court. You're running sideways, you're shuffling, you're jumping, you're doing all these different movements. I feel like it's personal opinion, but football, you hitting. Besides Chris playing linebacker, he's shuffling a lot. But like, I don't know how much shuffling you're doing in football compared to just trying to drive something. Did you feel like when you were playing football, like you had to kind of rechange your mind and the way you wire things of how you move your feet?
Well, technically for me, I play offensive line, left tackle. So all I'm doing is shuffling.
That's true.
That was it all makes sense now why I became the way I was. Like, I'm over here playing basketball for years of my
Shuffling
life.
back to block, block
Shuffling,
to block.
block to block. You know what I'm saying? What am I doing in front of guys like Michael Parsons and all those guys? I'm shuffling right in front of them. I'm shuffling in front of these guys. Got to get in front. Got to stay in front. So it kind of helped my career more than anything.
That's crazy. I mean, I feel tiny compared to you guys. Chris, I don't know if you know how big he was. He probably doesn't talk about his stuff because he's humble, but Chris was this size playing linebacker in high school.
Oh, yeah, at 18.
Like
I was actually 5 pounds heavier, which is wild to think back now.
Running a 4.6, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Monster high school.
Dude,
Like,
not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah,
This is
you're
like
right,
10
right.
plus years ago, but
like, it's crazy to see you guys now, like, living your life and doing your thing. Like, it's pretty cool to see how your new identity has developed in different spaces. And I know we want to talk about this a little bit, but
Yeah.
I want to dive a little bit back more into high school real quick. With high school, did you feel like you knew you were going to go to the league at a certain
Not
time
at all.
period?
Nope. Mm-mm.
No?
I tell people this all the time. I mean, my wife Jen knows this. Like, no. What did not have NFL on my mind. Didn't have college on my mind in terms of like college football. I'm just starting that sport out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just transitioning into it. Everything I did was just like, I'm learning new. I'm starting fresh.
I'm
So
going to work hard, though.
I'm just trying to figure this stuff out.
mhm.
So when my sophomore year ended, I did not play. Like, I had a guy in front of me who was so good, Moa. Like, he was dominant. Like, I wanted to be like him. He was throwing guys around, just pancaking guys, like really dominant on defense and offense. So I was like, looked up to him. I was like, I want to be like Moa. So I didn't play my sophomore year. The first time I actually like fully got a full season was my junior year. And then from after my junior year, I didn't have any like big time recruiting after my sophomore year. I didn't play. My junior year goes around. My coach literally calls me in his office like after winter break and something like that. He just like, hey, here you go. Just drops off a stack of like letters and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is the sport.
This is real.
This is real. Like, now the gears are starting to turn after my whole junior year. So going into my senior year, I was like, okay, I need to start like locking in.
It's real.
More. Yes.
Yeah.
But before that, no, didn't have no aspirations to go to NFL. Didn't have any aspirations to go to college. I was just like trying to just play the game.
Did you have a love for the sport at that time?
Yeah, I still love football. Don't get it twisted. Like, I mean,
No, in the beginning.
Oh, in the beginning?
Yeah. Like, did you just immediately love it, or was it just a challenge that
No, it was a
pushed you?
challenge. And I'll give you the challenge what it was. It was winter workouts. So after we did before we did the Hell Week thing, we had winter workouts. And my coach, Boom, who's still there at San Leandro High, still there, love him to death. This is what happened. We're doing basketball suicides, but it's a football twist to it.
Mm.
We're doing squats for 10 and then run back, squats for 10, push-ups for 5, go down, push-ups for 5, squats for 10, all the way. It's just, it's football twist to it, right?
Mhm. Make it hard.
Yeah,
We
make
used
it
to do
hard.
that.
Gotta kill you,
Yeah,
right?
we still do that.
Gotta
no
kill
reason.
you, So I remember, like I said, I was a chunkier kid, right?
Mhm.
I'm doing it. Let's get to the end. I'm like one of the last ones. Barely do a push-up. And I mean like barely doing push-up. I'm like trying to push myself up, shaking. And I remember like it was yesterday. And I told him this when I gave him my Pro Bowl jersey. I was like, I remember this day when you looked me in my eyes and you didn't say a word. You just looked me in my eyes. And you sit there, crossed your arms and folded your arms, and you just looked at me while I was doing it. And I knew what that meant. It's either you're going to do this, so you're going to break, or you're not. And from that moment on, I was like, yeah, I'm not breaking. And then from that day on, I haven't had any quit in my body ever since.
I got chills.
It was like,
same, bro.
that's it. Like, that's why I fell in love with this. And then like the whole thing came together. Cause like I didn't have a brother, I grew up with an older sister and stuff like that. So I always like wanted to be around brothers. I would play games with my cousins and do all that stuff. But I wanted the brotherhood,
Mhm.
the whole team after I finished and I ran across. Let's go. Like, you got the assholes in the back that's like the guys who think they somebody like, you could have finished that a long time ago. Yeah, but like, I'm glad I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that I loved about football. That's where I fell in love. It was the hard-nosed aspect of like You're doing something challenging, and you got to push yourself. That's life. Like, you got to, days that you don't want to. Like, there's going to be days you don't want to work out. I have to work out. You got to change the mentality. I get to work out.
Right.
You know, things like that. And then the brotherhood aspect. Those two things combined, love.
Limitless. Right?
Love. Like,
Love
just
that.
fell in love, man.
I love that.
That's pretty cool. I feel like you have some stories like that too.
I do. I mean, you talk about the camaraderie. There's just nothing like that. I'd say the closest thing to it is what me and Weston have, just not in the large scale format just yet. We're kind of building the team. I mean, you met some of the guys today. It's just cool as we grow together that gets bigger and bigger. But I think it's just something I've been chasing ever since I left sports, really. That's the biggest thing I miss, probably. It's just the brotherhood for sure.
100%.
I mean, what's crazy about brotherhood for me is like I played basketball. I was pretty good at basketball. And then I remember I went and like ran routes one day, like 2 days before 2 days started for football. And I'm out there I'm just catching passes. I'm running routes. And they're like, bro, why are you not playing football? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just chilling. So I remember playing basketball, and I remember walking into Coach Smith's room, and I'm like, hey, I want to play football. And he's like, okay. I'm like, so I signed up 2 days before 2 days. And it was one of the coolest experiences that I got to have, even though my basketball coach was so mad at me. And I hate that rule. And we'll talk about that too, is I hate stick to one sport and only do this. Like, do I understand it? Yes. But at the same time, like, I think it's a very stupid rule that a lot of college or a lot of high school coaches have. But I had more fun my senior year of football than I did all years of my basketball.
And crazy enough, bro, like if you didn't play football that year, we might not have become friends, because
closest friends that we are now, like I was best friends with his brother Andrew.
Yeah.
Which that's why we were close, but like me and Andrew were still close, you know.
You were, but since you were on the football team, we grew a bond because you and Andrew were friends, and then we were just at your house every weekend. And then that's where it all started, man.
I know.
Man, like it's something about it. Like I still text my boys from high school. Like they live in Hawaii.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I still got boys like out there in the Bay that I still talk to.
I love that.
It's something about that game that just brings people together. Like, and because you're going through something incredibly hard. Right. 2 days. I know y'all was in hot Texas. Come on now, like get out of here, right?
You don't have it no more. But I think the cool thing with that is like, I think the reason I like it is because there's a chance for someone to be seen and heard inside that room, in that locker room, because we have so much practice to where like the kid that doesn't normally catch the pass catches the pass, and you're just like, he comes back in the locker room, and everybody's coming up. Everybody's like, right? Like, that's the thing I'm talking about. Is you have 80 guys in a room. It's like one day every given Sunday, right? Every time there's somebody that gets a game ball inside the room, and that it's more exciting to see the guy that doesn't always win, but he still loves the game. He still loves playing football.
Or he had that one opportunity and made the most of it.
Like, that's the thing that gives you chills. Is like, that's what we enjoy. Is we like to see the person across going, hey, we're going to do this together, but we're all celebrating at the end of the day. That's the fun stuff. So like, dude, as you got older and you're going into your senior year, you're just like, holy shit, this is happening. Like, what was the main decision going into, what school am I going to go to, bro? Like, how was that decision?
I just let you know. I just told you. I didn't know this when I was making these decisions. But ever since, like, I've been doing a lot, because I'm playing 10 years in the league. I'm doing college. Like, you're just always going. Like, football's, like, you know, football. Like, it's one thing that there's never a reflection because it's on to the next opponent. So my mindset's always been, this is over, I'm on to the next. This is over, I'm on to the next. I never had time to reflect. Even in the offseason of the NFL, I will look back at my old tape, but I never got to reflect really, because I'm working out, because I got to get back to next season, right? So when I finally was done, retired, stopped playing the game, I finally got a time to reflect. And when I started to reflect, I looked at all the decisions I made. They all led to something, right? I love the brotherhood aspect, and I love like a challenge, right? I picked Boise State. I went there, brotherhood. I'm talking about like when I went to other visits and went to other campuses and stuff like that, seen other places. I mean like a real brotherhood. Like we cared about each other. Coach Pete made it that way. Like it was not a one day that went by. I didn't even care if I was like back at home that I didn't talk to somebody from my team. You know, like it was a real brotherhood when I went on my visit. I'm seeing the way they interact with each other, the way they interacted with me. I'm just a recruit. And it wasn't like they were treating me like a recruit that was like, oh, we got to woo you. They were just like, no, you the brother. Like, come on. Like, don't worry about, like, no, he's not doing that. Hey, you want something? Hey, you need anything? Like, just really checking in on me, asking like how I'm doing, like caring about me.
No ego.
No ego. I'm talking
Not
about
for another advantage.
No. And this is guys that I still talk to today that live out here. My boy George Iloka, like he just got done playing in the game. Like, and we're out, and he just like, hey man, you good? Like everything's cool. Like, still talking to this day. He lives out here in Texas. You
That's
know,
cool.
one of my good friends. You know, like that's what it was. I wanted the brotherhood, and I wanted a challenge, and I knew it was hard because the strength coach, right? Like that's a big indicator on like how to decide like how good a school is, in my opinion.
Explain that.
The strength coach, the strength program, you're going to see them more than you're going to see anybody, like, especially in college. Like, you're going to see them out of a week, probably like 6 days a week, sometimes 7, depending, like, especially if you're a freshman. So you need somebody that's going to challenge you, push you, and help you develop. So the 3 things I was looking for, these are the things I was looking for. I want culture, right? I got that culture from the Brotherhood, and whatever you want out of that, I want development, and I want an opportunity. Those are the 3 things I wanted. I knew I can get opportunity at Boise State. I was a smaller guy. Crazy you say I'm like, yeah, I was small in my position. 6'3", 6'4", fringe.
What's the roster height though?
In NFL?
Yeah.
Oh, the roster height?
Yeah, they had a couple inches, right?
Yeah, of course. In high school, they had like 2 or 3.
6'6",
in NFL, they probably had like
350.
1, you know what I mean? But yeah, NFL, they were like to the T. They had me at 6'3".
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like 6'4"-ish, I think I was at least. But, you know, like, I'm dealing with guys like 6'7", 6'8", 300 yada yada pounds. I'm 6'3", 6'4", 235, 240 pounds. Whoa. Coming out of high school.
Whoa.
I needed somebody that could develop. You see what I'm saying? Like I didn't
out.
even know that I knew these things, but these are the things that I was thinking about. Like I wanted to develop. I knew I wanted to redshirt. I knew I wanted to get bigger and stronger. I wanted to be able to play. You know, and then I had all these like small goals leading myself through, but it was just I wanted opportunity. I wanted development, and I wanted culture. That was it.
I think that mindset's so rare at a young age.
Yeah.
Like when you think about recruits coming in at high school now, they're all focused on the flash.
Right.
What kind of car I'm going to get, what kind of perks I'm going to get, how much status I get, all that stuff. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the majority of them aren't focused on any of those things.
I mean, we made it that way. You know,
Well, I think it just goes back to your driver. Like everybody has a different driver.
Right.
His is a challenge, yours is a challenge. I don't even know what mine is, but you know, some people's drive is pleasure instead of pain, right? Like when you go through those specific moments in time of pain, you know how to push harder than anybody. Like people that haven't had those pains, they don't know how to push. They don't know how to do that extra push up.
And it's easy to
why do I gotta do this?
Just be okay with letting it go.
So I think that's the cool thing about you guys is just like, and we talk about this all the time because, you know, it's a weird way, but I've got to study Chris. I've got to learn him. I like to make sure he's understood, make sure he's heard, he's seen. But there's the also other side of it is like, Chris, is this possible? And then his brain just explodes. Like we did this podcast setup the other day and like Chris like, and then he like went home, studied 9 hours. And the next day he's like up here looking at the studio. He's got it all coordinated.
I got a purchase list, prices built out, how fast we can get it, everything.
That's how his brain works. But it's cool because he did that in football too. So whatever, I'm assuming whatever you do in your life, you exceed at it at a very high level. You become an expert in it. Same thing with Chris. Like whatever he puts his mind to, it's going to be accomplished.
For sure.
You know, so
give me
like,
the play. I'm going to run it no matter what.
I got a
Put it on a t-shirt.
I got a question with you though, because like me and Chris have this conversation. Chris, you can probably share your experience, but like we talk about identity a lot here, and Chris had an identity of being a big body, you know, great at sports, great at football, but like, was that actually Chris? Do you feel like that was truly you, or do you feel like you just, I love football, this is what I'm designed to do?
Oh, brother, we're getting deep now. Let's go.
That's all we do.
Let's go. Let's go. So for me, man, just be completely honest with you. Nope. Football, not me. And I knew that. I knew that like when I was younger too. Like I knew this was like the job to help set me up for my career, you know? Like for me, it never was about the game of football, like a technical game of football. Of course, there's like nuances and stuff that I love. I love studying tape. I love like watching film and practicing and doing all that. Like I love the getting better aspect, of course. Like we're drivers. Like we're motivated. Like we want the challenge. I want to be the best. Like, yeah, of course. But I didn't do it for money. I didn't do it for Pro Bowls. I didn't do it for a championship. Because at the end of the day, not everybody's going to win a championship. Right. 31 teams don't win a championship every year in football, right? So I didn't do it for those things. My factors were solely based on what I can control, you know, like the things that like got me going, like my effort and like my preparation and things like that. So like just going back to that, like just thinking about like all that time that I was like, shoot, even in college, even in high school, nah, man, I was just always like, that's what I did, but it never was who I was. And that's why I think the transition for me outside of the game, when it comes to being a family man, when it comes to being like, you know, a good friend and things like that, like that's the most important thing to me. Like I said, I do reflecting a lot now. I never had like this huge like, oh, I want to be on the pinnacle of hosting on the Barardi and all this type of stuff. You know what my Super Bowl is? My Super Bowl is when me and Jen are older and we have a family dinner, family function or whatever, and I see Carson, Oakland, and Jordan, that's my girls, and their husbands and their kids, and I'm healthy and I'm moving around and I'm able to see this, the fruits of like my labor. That's the fruits of your labor. It's not the house you drive. It's not, I mean, the house you buy, the car you drive and all that. That stuff is here today, gone tomorrow. That's my life.
Right.
That's where I was like, yo, like, nah, I know where I want to go. I know where I want to be. That's why my decision to like step away from the game when teams that were calling me last year, a lot of teams calling, like, hey, we want you to play. Like, come get off the couch. Like, come play right now. No, I'm waking up on Wednesdays, waking my girls up because my wife has Pilates at 5 a.m. So I'm waking my girls up, getting them breakfast, doing their hair, taking them to school. Like, I love that. That's me right now. Yeah. It's not me being a football player because it never was about that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's where it all like hit me. And I didn't know that when you're going through it. You never really know once you're going through it because it's just so much. It's so chaotic. You're like running on a treadmill uphill and it's just like, hey, this thing is still moving. When's it ever going to stop? Like, because it's so chaotic. But once I'm able to stop and pause and like look back, I'm like, dang, I can't believe I made those decisions that led up to this right here. I did it the right way. I did it with some integrity. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it for the other stuff, you know? And I think that's the best thing about it.
That's beautiful, man.
Appreciate it, man.
That's probably the best answer we've gotten.
What do you think ingrained that in you at a young age to chase the challenge or chase the right thing? Like younger generation or even, you know, the guys you're with right now that are still in the league, like how would you talk to them and tell them, like, hey, bro, like how did you learn that, I guess?
Yeah, see, that's tough because I know like situations I was from. I'm from Oakland, California. You know, everybody that from Oakland, California is not just living the worst life. Don't get it twisted. It's just like anywhere. Just because you say you're from a place doesn't mean it's like, oh, we're all living here. No, everybody lives on a scale, right? Like some people are doing better, some people are doing worse, right? But when you're on a football team, you can kind of see the guys who are struggling the most. And it's usually the people who have the family dynamic issue, right? That's the ones. It's the family, right? Like, so whether it was my mom or dad having the struggles that they had, whatever the problems that they had, it's okay because I had a village, man. Like I told you, my grandma and grandfather, they did so much for me. My grandma would pick me up from school. She was like my caretaker when I was younger. My grandpa would go to his house on the weekends, and he had properties all over Oakland and stuff. I'll be mowing the grass with him, cutting the lawns and doing all that stuff, right? Like teach me, like show me work ethic stuff, you know? So I had these examples.
You understood the value of things.
There you go. So I got something that a lot of kids are not able to get, especially at a so valuable age of like, you know, whatever age they are, like 7 up until like high school, you know what I'm saying? When they're starting to develop and starting to learn and understand the world, I got a lot of those things for me that just invaluable information, right? So how can I say like, oh, you're not in my situation, you should figure that out? Nah, man, like that's something really tough for a kid to go through when they have their parent dynamic is split or something's going on with their mom or dad or whatever the situation may be. Like, how would I explain that to them? It's tough. I mean, I've talked to a lot of kids on like from doing all these events and stuff like that. It's tough getting to these kids nowadays, but there is a way, you know, and it's through the parent. It's through a role model, and it's not just me being a role model. They need somebody every day to be a role model.
The roots.
Grassroots role model. Charles Leno Jr. can't just show up one day and be like, you need to do this, this, and this, and all the kids go crazy for 1 minute and then go back home and then what's happening? You know? Yeah. How we need more grassroots role models. That's where it comes down to. That's how you get that change. And that's how I got that sense of it's not about the bull crap, right? It's not about the fancy flash on TikTok and social media and stuff like that. It's about the real things that matter: the family, the friends, the bond between like your brothers, and the work ethic that you got to have.
Right.
The stuff that really matters.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, you grow up in different places, different eras, different things. You're molded a specific way to do certain things. And then you go through those things. It's like we do a big thing with everybody as we ask them respectfully, Charles, are you happy?
Am I happy?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not happy. And here's why. I learned this. Me and my boy talked about this. My boy Raj. Faraji Wright, Rex Life Raj. Rex Life Raj, that's my dog. Like, listen to his music, great music. We talk all the time about stuff like this. From Boise State, played at Boise and all this. And we talked about this because he heard on the song, and I remember hearing on the song. Kevin Gates actually said this, and we were just talking. I was like, are you happy, dog? And I asked him this. He was like, no, I'm not happy. I'm peaceful. I love that.
I love that answer.
I'm not happy. I'm peaceful.
Right.
And that matters more.
To me, that's happy.
That's more than happy.
Right.
I think that's more than happy. There's more than content. It means way more.
Yeah.
I think
being at peace is more than anything. That's internal. Happiness is like, I would say that's short term. Happiness, like I can be happy eating a piece of cake today. Jen just made some cake. Oh man, I'm happy. But am I peaceful? Yeah, I'm peaceful right now.
I think peace is what everyone's longing, yet they have to learn that that's what they're needing to get.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You thrive in the chaos.
I do. I don't know why. It's chaotic.
And that's kind of our balance, right? Chaos and structure, right? And those two combined are pretty dangerous, which is why we've been able to do what we've been able to do the last 5 years together.
Because you're pushing boundaries too.
Exactly.
Like you gotta stretch.
Exactly.
You gotta get out your comfort zone. So
Where
you're not in a peaceful place. You can't be in a peaceful place right now.
Yeah, and then where there's a push, there's a pull, right? And in a good way. So
Yep.
Well, somebody said this the other day. I think he's actually Jason sitting in there, one of our editors. He said there's two kinds of pressure. There's pressure that pipes break, and there's pressure that diamonds make.
Absolutely.
And I'll never forget. He always drops those bombs, but shout out to him.
full of wisdom at 21.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But we get to ask that questions, Charles, to a lot of people in the millionaire space, the billionaire space, the athletes, the artists, and we always get like 3 answers. We get 1, absolutely. 2, we get, yeah, I'm happy, and then 3, we get, no, I'm not. And the kind of thing, besides your answer, you're kind of the 1-on-1, but usually the people that are actually happy, they built a personal dream, personal morals, personal value, personal roots, and then created a business around it. And they are the ones that are actually happy. And so it's like the people that sacrifice their personal life, everything, in order to have financial gain, end up going through their life 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, stuck or unfulfilled, and they don't even know who their identity is.
Because it's so wrapped up in the work that they were doing.
That's why we have the show called the Shift Show, because you have to shift your identity of what people tell you are versus actually who you are.
Yes.
So like with you going into the new phase of your life of, doing all the success story in quotes, right? What people see, right? But to you, those aren't the things that actually make you feel successful. What you just explained is like having your kids and taking care of your daughters and making sure your wife's happy and make sure you're at peace. That's probably your version of successful, right?
Absolutely. Family, community, those things. That's my version of success. That's my version of like, living my best life. That's what they say.
So like when you finished football, man, you made that decision. Like, did you sit down with your wife and you're like, man, I just really need to shift. I need to figure out what really matters to me. Like, how was that? How did that come to mind? How did that come to play? Like, what was that like?
Man, it was an easy decision. Very easy.
You didn't get hurt?
Huh?
Are we hurt?
Are we hurt?
No, yeah. Did you get hurt playing football and you're just like easy decision?
Oh,
or you're just like,
I got hurt, but not playing football. So here's what happened. This is 2023. Going into my 10th year. I'm at Washington. Me and my wife, we have 3 girls already, Carson, Oakland, Jordan. And it's August 1st. My wife comes to practice. It's training camp, you know what I'm saying? And she comes to practice all the time, bring the girls and all this type of stuff. I'm pushing the girls off on the cart. Man, she surprised me that we're having our 4th child, our 4th daughter ended up being, but our 4th child. She shows a jersey. I'm like, yo, what? Like the whole team knows about, like people in like our media people knew about it. People knew before me. I'm like, what the heck? You've been holding this for how long? She's like, I want to do something special for them. And she did something really special. So I found out that we having a child again, 4th child. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Fast forward to October, but in that time, Jim was having some complications and things like that. And, just listening to doctors, even when we pushing back and just, talking to different people, like, it's like, you're fine. It's just like things that's just going on. You're having 4 kids in 4 years. Like this is like normal, right? But it's not normal. So my wife comes to Atlanta, and she's not feeling well. She's like walking really slow. Like, and I'm like, we're going to go get some food. And she's like walking really slow. I'm like, babe, you knew you're not walking this slow. What's going on? She's like, I'm still feeling well. I'm like, all right, well, let's get some food. Head back to the room. I go back to the room. Actually, I go to meetings. She goes back to the room. I got back from meetings. She ends up, I end up seeing her before I go to my room because whatever, NFL's weird. If you have a wife, it doesn't matter. You can't sleep with them, but you can if you just leave your room, and I can do that if I want to. But if I'm playing, I need my good night's sleep. I'm not sleeping in the king bed next to you, baby. Like, no, I need some sleep. I gotta perform tomorrow, right? So that was my mentality. Let me go to my room. Let me go to sleep.
Still on that.
Yeah. So I go back to the room, and this is the crazy part, man. I'm asleep, and you just pop up in the middle of the night. Like, I don't do that often. Like, I take my vitamins, I take my melatonin, like all this. I go out, knock out like a rock hard. Wake up, like, what the hell? All right, whatever. Go to the bathroom, pee, come back. As soon as I sit on the bed, my wife calls me. She's like, hey, Lynn, I just lost a baby. I didn't say anything. I just hung up the phone and just went upstairs. Went to go to her room. Go to her room, and I remember the embrace that we had. We just hug each other at the door. I think the door was open the whole time, like maybe like 5-10 minutes just standing at the door, just crying in tears, just, hurt, real pain. And the moment that I looked to my left, because I remember like it was yesterday. Like, clearly, it's something I'll never forget. I'm looking at this gin right here. I look to my left. The bathroom's right here. And Peyton's on the sink. My wife didn't just lose the baby. She gave birth to a stillborn child. In the bathroom at a hotel in Atlanta, Georgia, nowhere near home, nothing like that. Rocked. And the decision was made at that time. I can say this because me and my wife talked about this, like, I kid you not, like a couple weeks ago. We always like, this is something that happened to us. So we talk about this all the time. From that moment on, I knew right then and there what mattered more. It was my life. The next day is the game. We're playing Atlanta. My wife knows the number. I don't know the number. You can look it up. I had 100 plus something, over 130 or 120 something starts in a row. Like, I didn't miss time. I made a choice not to play that football game. And when I made that choice not to play that football game, because I knew, like, going back, like, reflecting, I knew if I played that football game, I'll still be playing football right now, because I'll be doing it for that. I'll be doing it for chasing what? 100 plus something games played. Who cares? I want to be there for my family. I made sure that I want to be there for my family. So from that moment on, I knew I made the choice of, like, this game is done. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm not able to give this game my all, which started me out in this game. Like, that's what I did. That's how I performed so well. That's because I always give my all. Like, you start something, you don't quit, right?
Right.
Until the end of the season. Like, I knew, like, okay, I can't get this game my all anymore. It's over. I'm not going to cheat the game. The game done so great for me. While I'm doing the right thing for the game,
Right.
I'm not going to cheat the game. So let me just go ahead and do it the right way and step away from the game.
Well, your heart and mind ain't in the
Heart
game.
and mind ain't in it. So,
Well, brother, I just want to say thank you. I mean, I know you're up here sharing and being vulnerable, and I think that's absolutely incredible, bro. And my heart, I'm shook right now. I'm not gonna lie with you, bro. Like, I really, like, after this, I'm gonna give you a 5-10 minute hug. Like, I'm so serious. Like,
yeah.
the way you're able to talk about it and open up like that is incredible, bro. And that's what real courage is, and we're very grateful to even open up and share a story like that.
Appreciate it. And let me say this one thing to go back. When I popped up, my wife she lost a baby at that moment, because I called her. I mean, like, when we were talking, like, upstairs in a room after we lost her, I'm like, when did you call? When did this happen? Like, how long ago? She said, I literally went to the bathroom, gave birth, called you right then and there. So when I popped up,
you knew.
God sent that message to me. Like, this is what happened. Powerful stuff, man.
Yeah, chills.
So that right there was a moment, like that. I would say that time, that era, like that moment right there, when I made that decision of not playing in this game and I chose family over football, which I 100% will never change. I wouldn't go back on that. I have no regrets with that decision, right? Because I know who's going to be there for me in the end. At the end of the day, I played this game. We play at a high level. We go through a lot, right? How many of those fans are going to take care of me? How many of those, owners, how many of those, all that stuff is going to take care of me? No, I know my wife will. I know my daughters will. So I want to continue to take care of them while I can, so they can take care of me later,
And you say you made that decision at the end to choose your family over football. In my opinion, you chose your family from the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
And you kept that as the forefront
Right.
of your most priority next to God. And I think that's what gave you the clarity. And it was so easy for you to make, because that's a tough decision for a lot of players to make.
Absolutely.
To hang up the jersey and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have the mindset that you have.
Right.
And that's why we're here, to share that, so you can tell other people that there's another way to live, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not just football.
That's straight up.
There's much more.
And you said it, like, my faith was shook too.
Yeah.
I questioned God, like, how can you do this? Like, me and God were not on good terms. God's always on good terms with us, but I didn't have those terms right with him, until I had to, find that grace within, like, understand, like, God's doing this for me. Like, everything he does is for you. Like,
that goes back to the word you've said multiple times in this episode, is reflection.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lesson. Something in there along there is reflection.
Press pause on this crazy life that you got.
That hurts.
Be here. Yep. And it's been so great.
And
so great so far.
This opens up a big segment, and you mentioned it in that last story. I don't want to interrupt you, but you played over 170 games, started
I don't know what the number was.
130, 140 starts.
40
you
starts,
missed
yeah.
how many games? You could probably count on one hand, right?
Well, since from when I started,
yeah,
one game.
One game in his 10-year career.
I just missed that one game with the Atlanta
this
game.
Man played hurt
for
10 years, mentally, physically.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
When Avery told me that, I just had chills and was like, "Whoa,
that's a dog.
That's a dog.
He been in the kennel.
Right. Right.
That's a big dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, yeah, I don't really remember the amount, but it was a lot. It was a lot of games that I played, a lot of stuff that I went through, physically, emotionally, mentally, like, just every day. But like, I always looked at it like, man, I'm playing ball. Like, this is football, bro. Like, there could be a lot of other things, perspective wise,
Right. Yeah.
It's not like I'm out here doing brain surgery. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that really, really matters.
Oh, football.
This is entertainment, dog. Like, this is entertainment.
Brain surgery, CTE, like.
I don't know many brain surgeons that can hop on the field. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it goes both ways, right?
I mean, if I pick up a couple books, I might be.
All you gotta do is challenge the guy. He'll go dominate it for 10 years.
Challenge me, I can go be a brain surgeon.
Challenge accepted, huh?
I agree with that statement.
On the mic.
I got kids that work to care for right now. So.
I'm really curious to know the next phase of life for you after football. I know we talked a little bit about during football, but what are you doing right now?
So right now I'm a full-time dad. That's my job description.
How much does that pay?
I don't know.
I think it costs.
It costs more than anything.
It costs, right?
I have 3 girls, so it costs more than anything.
It's still priceless though at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just negatives out of my bank account more than anything. There's no money in all output. But no, it's been great. That's what I've been doing. That's my full-time job right now. Being a husband, being a father. That's what I'm doing. But on the side, what I am doing is I'm helping high school kids, coaching them, offensive line training. But I'm not necessarily doing only offensive line training. I'm doing, I would say, it's beyond the training. That's the name of my program. It's called Beyond the Training, because it's not only about just developing the offensive lineman. It's about developing the mind. It's about developing their football, like, IQ, how they cope with different things. I'm basically just being a mentor, to be honest with you. Like, it's called Beyond the Training, but I'm more of a mentor for these kids. I'll give you an example. One of the kids that I have, he was a sophomore going into his sophomore year, and he didn't have any scholarships, just trying to learn the game of football, offensive line. He transfers in, he played defensive line at, a private school, and then he transferred in, going to switch to offensive line. He ends up, the sophomore coming in, right? And I'm working with him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like trying to, we're doing like basic stuff because he couldn't really take steps. So I'm just kind of like breaking it down like to the bare bones, but then also like challenging him mentally, asking what his goals are, asking like, just different things about him to like see what makes him tick, all this type of stuff. So just getting to know him, right? And then kind of find out, getting to know him, I understood like, oh, he's got it. He got the stuff that I know because I had the stuff, right? Like stuff that gets you where you want to go. So I'm like, oh, I cannot stop working with this kid. He's gonna be really good. He continues to develop. I'll have him come over to my place. We'll watch film on the next opponent. Watch film on the previous game. I'm like really giving him like the full, like what we did as an NFL. So I'm giving him like the top of the line, like secret sauce. Fast forward to where you want to fast forward to right now. Let's talk about right now. So this is 2024 in whatever it was, June or something like that. He had one scholarship, and he told me like he didn't feel like it was a scholarship. It was just like hey, we'll give you a scholarship. Like, and
I know
like,
that.
okay, yeah. It's because it's like committable scholarships and non-committable scholarships. Let's not get into it right now. It's crazy. But so fast forward to right now, he's committed to Michigan. He ended up with 30 plus scholarships after the season. Yeah. And all the teams are seeing what I see. Like, I just think he's just going to be a really elite, like, center, inside interior guy, really smart, crazy athletic, like, and he just needed some help. He needed some shape shifting, you know what I'm saying? And I was there to help him. And I'm at the end of the day, I'm more blessed than anything, because how was God able to put him in my life? I don't know, but I know God works in mysterious ways, and he put him in my life and I was put in his life for a reason. So I love their family, love him. Tristan Dare is his name. Just really solid kid. He was my first guy, and then now I got 4 other guys. I'm working with a freshman, working with another junior and another sophomore. This thing's developing. Worked it with some offensive line guys from UFL, some of my old friends, and NFL college guys from Boise State coming out to see me. So I'm just doing this. This is not my full-time job. Like I said, this is my side thing, but it's something I really enjoy.
It's your purpose, your passion.
Yeah, I love just giving back, man, especially back to the youth. Like, all my information that I know, all the stuff that I learned, it's not for me. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is not for me. Yeah, it helped me, but it's not for me. It's definitely for somebody else. And I want them to understand, like, yo, this is the brotherhood that I talked about at Boise State in the previous episode. Like, that's what I try to make. I try to make a brotherhood. I'm sharing things with them so they can go share with their teammates. I told one of them who was a junior, the juniors and the freshmen actually worked together one time when I bring them together, because I want the freshmen to understand this, how the upperclassmen work, and I want the upperclassmen to know you take care of your younger guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to build this brotherhood within, like, training, because sometimes the training gets too
independent.
Yeah, it gets too independent. It gets too
competitive.
Like, I want to be the best. I want to no, like, don't worry about my guy. Like, my guy's for me only. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to get an edge. No, like, everybody, the cream will always rise to the top first and foremost. So, like, I know that for a fact. Just because you're good now at 7 years old, there's something that's going to be a great equalizer, and that's called puberty, my friend. It's going to come, and it might hit you like a brick, and then life changes for you, right? So,
absolutely.
So just always continue to just help others, right? That's my biggest goal too. Like, I'm always trying to expand. How can I help these people? How can I help others? How can I always give back into this world that God blessed us with?
Right. You're changing lives, man.
That's all we're supposed to do.
Weston's word is limitless, and kind of what you're doing right now reminds me of that, because you may be really focused on one kid. Now you got 4, which is awesome. But like that one kid, imagine how many younger kids, when he goes through his career, that he's going to give back to, and that they're going to give back to, and that they're going to, dude, it's a domino effect. That's limitless right there.
Butterfly effect, man. That's it right there. And that's my goal. So just tell you the goal with this. You're like, what's your goal with this? My goal with this is, when I'm older, hopefully one of these kids make it to get inducted to the NFL Football Hall of Fame. I want them to say, Charles Leno Jr. helped me get here by doing this. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. I just want them to give it back to somebody else, and I want them to do it for someone else too.
Impact.
And I think the thing that comes out of that, person, whoever this is going to happen to, is Charles helped me be the best version of myself.
Yes.
Not the best football player.
Right.
And I just read that from you, right? It's like, be the person your younger self needed. And that's what you're doing for these kids.
Yes.
You're out there teaching them life, not finances, not, all these different things. You're going, hey, life's hard. You gotta do your push-up. Like, we're going to get through the push-up. We're going to do it together for once. And so, like, that's one thing that me and Chris have, is like, there's a great dynamic where he pushes me, I push him. At the same time, there's no day where I'm in the trench by myself or he's in the trench by himself. And so it's kind of nice to have that. And as we've kind of grown it at the studio and everything, it's been really cool to see people open up and be vulnerable and, you know, put themselves in an uncomfortable position to actually grow. You know, like when you actually were in a position in football and all the stuff you do, like, were you forced into uncomfortable or did you force yourself to be uncomfortable?
No, you're forced. In football, you're forced, especially in, I was saying, when did it start? High school is a little different because, you know, you're going to have good athletes, you're going to have really bad athletes, right? It's
Did
like
you
a
ever
bigger...
have a coach that just you hated?
Oh, of course. Oh,
Did-
of course. Hated. In high school for sure. NFL and college, not really. But in high school, it was a guy I really absolutely despised, hated him. And he motivated me. He motivated me for that time, you know, to get through my sophomore year. Like, hated him to a way where he would talk crazy to me like, this is my first year playing football, you know, like you're telling me like I am worthless, I am nothing, like I'm like, look, legit real put downs. Those
they
words,
do that, yeah.
Those words, like, and I'm talking about like brutal.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, you know, at that time, that's just motivation. Challenge, like I said. Oh,
Yep.
you want? Oh, you
And he
think
probably
so?
he probably knew that.
What?
Did he know that?
Do you know what?
That was going to challenge you?
No, because he did to everybody.
That was his way of pushing someone, probably. Fear.
I think that was his way of making himself feel better too.
Oh,
Power.
Yeah,
Power hungry.
He tried to make
little bit.
himself feel better.
Yeah, that happens in football a lot.
Yeah,
we had that. I had a terrible coaching staff in college for the very brief career that I had there, and it got so bad one day. I mean, the insults were going deep, and this dude was just railing into this red shirt all practice long. Got so bad he quit, man.
Yeah,
and this is a tough dude. He was just like, "No, I'm done." He's like, I don't deserve this. Like, there becomes a point where it's like too much.
Well, there's almost a point in time, and like, you know me, if I was ever in that position, like,
Bark
I
back.
hold back. Like, at
Well,
some
you will
point-
if you want to play.
At that point, if I'm already done, okay, we're gonna take the pads off. You want to talk like
Well-
we ain't football no more?
To be fair, this was a 350-pound ex-NFL lineman,
That's
so
hey,
you don't want to mess
350-pound
those
lineman.
guys,
Yeah.
right?
A
They know
throat
how to
punch will take
move.
anybody down.
They'll take those punches.
right. They'll take those punches.
Throat punch.
Baseball bat? You got one?
Yeah.
On the knees. Come down.
Just
Yep,
act
bring
like
it on
you
my
hit the
level.
knee.
Take the knees out.
Hit
Yep.
the knee and hit him in the throat.
Chop block, baby.
That's all I'm saying.
That's
But
what
just
the game does, though.
unacceptable, though. I'm kidding. I wouldn't actually hit somebody. I'd just be like, dude, I'm not. We use this quote all the time, but to argue with the fool makes two.
Mhm.
And that's all I would say back. It's like, dude, and we had to learn that now. Like, you weren't probably a hothead. I was a hothead. Like, I was.
There's
But-
moments in our business where I've gotten pretty heated from people. I mean, when you have, like, you've done work and they don't want to pay you and you're having to, like, go back and forth to pay them, I'm over here, like, blowing steam. And Weston's like, yeah, screw it. Just move on. Not worth it.
well, I used to not be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there was one specific client from Kentucky that, I mean, I'm getting motherfucked on the phone, screamed at, cussed at, all these different things. And it was exhausting. I mean, like, it was wild. And this guy, like, you would never talk to me like that in person. And that's just disrespect. You can talk all that loud as you want to tell. You want to bark as much as you want to bark, but it's time to sit down and talk. You ain't talking to me like that.
Right. And
It's
that's the world we kind of in now, you know, like
It
with
is.
the hiding behind the phone, hiding behind
But-
an egg, or what it used to be on Twitter and stuff
We
like
just we move now and we shifted into a space of understanding approach is more important than anything.
that. Amen. I
So-
love that. I
so-
talk about approach all the time.
It's approach. You can have any conversation. If someone wants to be escalated or you want to, be rude to you, whatever, it's like, hey, I really, want to figure this out, and I just don't want to be appreciated. Or messed up my whole line there. I don't appreciate the way we're communicating. Well, now it brings it back down super quickly, right? Or hey, are you willing to work on this, Charles, with me? Well, yeah, bro. Of course, I want to work on anything with you.
De-escalate.
Right. It's now
Yep.
it's a we thing. It's not a
Yep.
me, I thing or a you thing. Right. And so that's kind of how we've shifted into business is like, if we can't have these conversations, we just don't do work with you.
Yeah.
If we can't travel the world with you, we don't do work with you. If we don't break bread, we ain't working with you. Our whole entire business now is built on family.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wouldn't we want to live that life? Like society sees you have to do X, Y, Z to be happy or be successful or have this amount of finances, but go back to society and ask them if they're happy. Why are we taking advice from people that aren't happy? That makes zero sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It does not make any sense.
Yeah.
Like in your world of football, did you ever just like be like, dude, how do you hang out with people and be around people that don't think the way you do?
I mean, that's the locker room. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the locker room. And I think that's the one thing I do miss about the locker room when it comes to different backgrounds, different way of living, different products of their environment, but we all have one common goal. That's the best part of it, you know? I mean, I'm talking about like people like completely different sides of the spectrum when it comes to life.
Oh, I'm sure.
But at the end of the day, when we're on the football field, it's one common goal. We're trying to get the win. We don't have that really in society. You know, there's not a lot of spaces that you can have that. Because if you're at work at wherever you're working at some insurance company, you go back home. What's the common goal? I'm getting my paycheck. I'm doing my job. It's about you. There's not really a we. There's not a lot of we moments in society. How many we moments do we really get? Like where we all like a lot of people come together. Sports, music, food. Other than that, like you want to say
it's all isolated.
It's all isolated. Church, that gets divisive too now, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Think about like a lot of places that we have. We don't have a lot of like real community.
I got a bigger one for you. Politics.
That's
the biggest
that's
one
its
of all.
own thing.
So
we're not gonna
Coach,
get in it. Cut.
So I'll get
No, I'm kidding.
Coach Peterson at Boise State, he literally mentioned this in the locker room. Like he told us, when you're in the locker room, do not talk about these things: politics, religion, and money. I didn't understand why. I'm in college. I'm a young kid. I understood now. You know what I'm saying? Later on, I understood. Why talk about those things? Those are the things that's going to get you the most mad. There's not really a lot of thought involved. It's all emotion involved, right? That's why he didn't want you talking about that at a young age, because it's just emotion. You're just going to fight over it. You're just going to get upset because you believe in this and you believe in that, and that's it. There's no sitting down of different color skin and different like views and things like that, and it's having a real conversation.
The emotional intelligence isn't there yet.
It's not there. We're young kids. I was 17 years old when I got to college, you know? Like, come on now. Like, I'm a kid.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, we try to have a lot of people do Emotional Intelligence 2.0. It's a book. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
You should do this with your kids or even people you know, but it's a book. Our leadership gave me the book, and you go in and you take a test at the back of the book, and then it gives you like your score out of the 4 EQs, right? And it's really good to see on paper your emotional intelligence versus you saying, hey, you're not very emotional intelligent, this, and this. And so it's a good aware piece to go, you know what? I get to work on this. Nobody has to know my grade. Nobody has to know my test. And then what it does is the book tells you, go, hey, you need to work on this and go to chapter 3. And then it helps you kind of be open-minded to life, perspective, reflection. And then you take the test again. And you get to keep working on these chapters for yourself and not someone telling you you're doing something wrong or right or feeling judged. Like,
I like that.
It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
I like
definitely.
that. And then when you take the test and go back, the best thing I'm thinking of is you might grow in one area, but you may lose in another area. And you might have to go to this chapter that because you're always you want to make sure you're better, right? You want to make sure your emotional intelligence is better. You want to make sure you're at a point where you're at peace and things like that. So I like that a lot. I might have to definitely check that out. Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Yes, sir. There's a bunch of books we like to read. But like, I have a question inside the football space is like, how did you mentally prepare for all the stuff you had to do?
How do I mentally prepare? Well, I would say, like, what years? That's the biggest question, because I had a lot of different. What time frame?
Like
NFL,
more NFL, yeah, NFL.
More
Because
NFL?
like we got to go to the expert space, because I think what we do in our space is very expert level. I'd hopefully believe that. But yeah, I think a lot of people on this channel are going to be more so wanting to take things to the next level, the next step, and that's why I wouldn't go to that step.
For sure. So 2 parts. I had great help, I would say. When I was in Chicago, I was there for 7 years. And while you're there, like you learn, like you just know a lot of people, right? So we had a sports psychologist by the name of Gloria there, who was there with me from probably 2015 all the way to 2019, 18-ish. So she was there for a chunk of my time, but this was the time where I was playing. I spent a lot of time talking to her, a lot of time. So just asking questions, being curious, curiosity, that's the number one sign of emotional intelligence, honestly. Like curiosity, like I want to know, I want to get better. I want to learn how I can get better. And I'm not talking to just get better about football. We're talking about just everything, like being a better person, stuff like that. So she helped me tremendously. Love her to death. And then she moved to Barcelona, and it didn't have her. So I wanted, I'm missing that, right?
Mhm.
I'm seeing myself doing things on the football field and acting a certain way to coaches and stuff like that, where it's just not me,
Yeah.
right? But the game it changes you, right? Because there's a high pressure, like it's a different environment, right? Like this game is going to change you. You're going to come in one way, you're going to leave a different way. Period. I don't care who you are, right? So I had to learn. And when I went to this seminar, All-Line Masterminds, I met one of my mental performance coaches, Gary Frazier. Love him. Great dude, man. Still work with him to this day. And what we did was just like change frameworks of the mind. And that's how I got like better in my second half of the year. So my first half of the year, I definitely used our team psychiatrist or sports psychiatrist, psychologist. And then the second half, I used a mental performance coach. Now, those two people are to help me football-wise, right? But honestly, the person that helped me the most was my wife. My wife, Jen, she helped me tremendously in terms of mental preparation. Because when I was young, when I first started playing the game, like in the NFL, I met my wife, but we weren't together, and I'm just, having a good time. I'm in Chicago, I'm young, I'm single, I'm doing all the stuff, right? And she comes over and she's like she understands the big picture. She like, you got to focus on football. Like this isn't going to last long. This isn't here today, going tomorrow. And like clearly, your situation. You're not like the best of the best. Like you have to grind a little harder in this. So I got that mental preparation from her. I started focusing even more. That's when I was in the NFL. Like that's when I was like grinding the film, like watching my opponent, studying my opponent, and it'll be days that I fall asleep on the couch and I got my iPad in my hand and I'm waking up like, oh, so now I gotta go to bed now. Like go to the room and go to sleep, right? Like I would literally be grinding film. Like that's how I got better. She helped me with that, So my mental preparation all came down to understanding me and what I needed to do, and then on top of that, I think it also came down to like just the little tidbits I learned along the way, from all those other people that I got that I met throughout my life. Especially just like learning stuff about control. Like there's only 4 things you can control. That's your effort, your attitude, your thoughts, and your actions. Other than that, you can't control anything else.
Can't control shit.
You can't control anything else. When I got that in my mind, things started changing.
Right.
I had a lot of different people just tell me things along the way. And I think I was just aware enough to the fact that, I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's my superpower. That's what me and my mental performance coach talks about. Like my superpower was
Control.
No, it was awareness.
Oh, okay.
Being aware. Like I just see a lot of different situations, see a lot of things, and I'm just aware. Like, okay, that looks like a good opportunity. Like not a lot of people can say like, okay, this one over here looks like a good opportunity. It might be the smallest opportunity, but they want to see the flashiest thing, the best thing. No, I want the slow burn thing that takes time and like it lasts long term.
Right.
So I don't know, man. That's a loaded question, but I think I gave you a lot of different scenarios.
No, I think it's everybody has a preparation that works. I just think about you being a top athlete and how do you stay, sounds crazy, but stay sane. Like, you look at Antonio Brown and you're like, okay, CTE, but then also you just look at all these other athletes that just fell off the rocker. And I'm just like, how does this happen? One, I know you have money to go find a coach or a mentor in that space, but like how do a lot of those guys end up, just kind of not being there mentally? Like
I think it goes to the point of our last episode. They have football only. When you have football only, that's the most tragic thing that a guy could ever have. If that's the only thing that satisfies him and keeps him in his life, because that's going to go away.
And they know it's going away.
They don't know. They think it's going to last forever.
It's like your life.
It's a dopamine rush.
It's something that we've been doing for so long. And some guys, I mean, I started my sophomore year, junior year, right? So I think that's why I'm a little different when it comes to like the game of football and like why I didn't like, just completely dive in and just lost it and just like, this is my end all be all. No, I know there's more out there because I didn't learn it at the age of 4 years old when
Right.
guys are, starting out. Some guys, this is all they know.
Right.
So when it's taken away, like I'm gonna tell you, like this is the
It's a
craziest
marriage,
thing.
bro. It's like
More than marriage. This is full control. You wake up in the morning, but before you wake up, you know what time you have to be there. And when you get there, they have everything printed out for you, everything listed for you. Your food's here. This is what you got to take. After a long practice in the heat, do you know how much you have to drink? Don't worry about it. We got it right here. Look, you got to drink 4 bottles of liquid IV or drip drop, and you got to drink 2 bottles of water. We have it all for you. You know, this is the lift that you got to. Everything was tailor-made for you, and it was made for you to be successful, to help the team, so because it's all about the team, right? Once that's pulled, what structure do you have? What do you have to, like, where's your life going? You got to figure that stuff out, and that's the thing that makes it so tough for a lot of guys.
Just driving around without no GPS.
That's what you're doing while you're being successful in this game, because this game is going to go away. A lot of guys don't set themselves up after the game with family, with a different career, with something that's going to have a purpose in their life. It's sad to see, but it's a sad reality. And then we're talking about a handful of guys here, and we're talking about a handful of guys here, right? That are the, Michael Strahans, who understood, like, he wanted to be, Good Morning America and all that stuff. You got guys that are on different spectrums, right? Mm-hmm. But majority of guys on this side of the spectrum, right? How many Hall of Famers are there? It's only like 200 Hall of Famers out of how many guys that played? You know what I'm saying? There's only most guys are just over here in this category where the game, you're here for 3 years, they spit you right out. And why do they spit you out at 3 years? Because in 4 years, you start to get bested. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the business now, right?
Has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. But if you're not understanding that going into it, you're going to set yourself up and for failure later on.
And that's why we focus on the identity shift in the show specifically, is because like you put this false identity, and sometimes other people put it on, you just accept it, of like, you're a big body, you're good at football, you're an athlete, this is you. And you just fall into this role for like years and years, especially if you get to the league, and then you get everything you've ever wanted around it, and then one day it's just gone. And then there goes your identity.
Yeah, but that identity gets hardened, and you're like, there's no you got to understand, we're changing. You're always motivated. It's shifting, right?
Right.
So just think of that movie. What the hell's that movie with the dude with the clay and what's his name? Patrick Swayze? Ghost. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Ghost, when he was doing the little clay stuff with the I think it was Ghost. Yeah.
I have to watch that.
Yeah, we'll watch that. Yeah, it's pretty good. The long old movie.
Claymations.
Movie. Yeah. But like, that's what you're doing. You're shifting, right? You're changing. You're always getting molded.
So what stays in motion.
But once you get hardened, what happens? This is who you are. It's hard to break that. Like, this is all I know. This is all I can do. I talk to so many guys and hear so many stories of, like, guys are really struggling just on the mental aspect, because this is all they know. This is all they've done for so long. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of transition programs and a lot of things that the NFL and the NFLPA tries to help with. But the number one thing is, it has to be community. It has to be getting these guys together who experience these things, saying, hey, we got to get together. We just got to bond. We just got to go back to doing what we did, like in the locker room. Let's just all talk together. I don't even care.
Let's go to the barbershop.
Yes, things like that. You have to get that going. And I actually been going to a lot of those now that I've been out, about the game. Like, there are former things like that, but there's not everybody gonna show up because everybody feels like, oh, I'm better than those guys, or
I'm good. I'm good.
That's the game.
That's why we have that questions like, how you doing? And then they might give a quick answer. Oh, I'm good. No. How you really doing?
Right.
Give me a real answer.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't even think about that sometimes. They're like, man, how am I doing? And it takes them a few seconds to even think about that. And it's because, like, they don't self-reflect. And so if you just take on all these things that people are putting on you, and you don't think about, like, who am I? Like, that's a scary place to be.
Yes.
And, what's the stat that you brought up the other day about men's mental health?
It's gone up 80%.
Suicide in men, 80%.
This year alone. And that's a topic that we could really dive into if we really wanted to. But, not being heard, not feeling seen. You go to work, you're used. You don't feel like anybody hears you, cares about your opinion, cares about your thought process, cares about how much work you've been put in your whole life. Then you go home, and this isn't for everyone, and this goes on both sides of men and women, but if a man comes home, he doesn't feel heard or seen at home either. He's existing.
marginalized, shrunk.
Boom.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate side of things. And that's why we just really try to focus on is like our one big ask that we always do is just check on one person today.
Yeah.
Just one person a day, you know, and it makes the world a better place because then you tell that person, then you're like, hey, now that I checked on you, you do me a favor and go check on someone.
Yep.
You know, that's kind of what we try to build around here is just heard and seen and then provide the belief again. I feel like there's so many people into society that just tell you can't do something. But then I get around you and I'm like, I can literally jump over the moon right now, right? It depends on who you're around that's going to give you that energy versus take the water out of your cup. You're also filling that cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just trying to find those people you align with, you know, like with you in your football career, you need to be around, and I'm just guessing, right, is the brotherhood and be able to tell those stories, and because it's people that actually understand you. If me and you have a conversation right now and we have zero comprehension, did we really understand each other?
Right.
Did you really feel me? Did you really understand? Did you really connect with me? No. All we did was communicate. And you can go communicate with all these people you know, but if they don't understand what it's like to be in the locker room and go through the pain and go through the training,
communication and connection, you know,
go through the cold plunges with your boys, like, you know, all the funny, crazy stories from the parties to the chicks to the cars, like, men still need that, you know. And so there's that documentary Broke on ESPN. Have y'all seen that?
Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
You know, you look at that, it's like, wow.
Yeah. I told my wife, I watched that when I was in college, in my senior year, I think, when it came out, or sometime in college. I watched that every year while I was in the NFL. Once a year, it was like a reminder for me. I watched it every year. I think the last time I watched it was probably like when we had our first daughter, like 2020 was the last time I watched it. Yeah. But I watched that every year for how many years would that be? 6, 7 years?
6, 7,
yeah.
Are you open to talking about your finance?
My finance?
Like,
yeah, oh, like well, how am I doing and stuff like that?
Well, not like all the details of that. It's just like, okay, I watched this documentary. Like, what did I do to prepare myself to be great?
Oh, yeah.
Outside of football, like, because I feel like that's a huge thing. It's probably not talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is the reason Broke came out, is because like 90% of athletes go broke or something. It was crazy or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was like 78%.
It's
but that's
high.
total athletes, like even basketball, football,
all
all
sports.
that.
Yeah,
sports,
which is nuts. So like, how did you prepare? Like, you look at Shaq, for example. Shaq's a great mentor in that space. Like, I'm gonna put 4 guys. I bought a house. I forgot about taxes. Oh shit, I don't have enough money to do this. Like, what do I do?
There's a ton of stories of guys like, and man, just. It's so many things to touch on with that, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to talk about.
It's hard to talk about because I've seen so many things. But for me, I think the biggest thing that I learned throughout, like, just talking with financial advisors, you know, CPAs, things like that, just for on my side, is, do you want to live like a king for a day or a prince for eternity? You know, like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't need a lot of stuff, right? You don't need this stuff. This is all wants. Can you control those emotional urges that you get? Because it's all wants, right? What are you trying to feel? What's the void that you're trying to fill that, like, why you need this stuff? So that's one when it comes to spending. Now, 2, another part of it, by being in like the NFL sense of it, a lot of guys live paycheck to paycheck. You may not think so, but just because you see a number on TV, that's money coming in. Let's call $100,000. Half is taken from Uncle Sam. And then after that, 3% is probably taken from your agent. And after that, you got to go live somewhere. And after that, you got to go drive to work. And you got to get food. And you know what I'm saying? Like, where's that going now?
It's all gone.
Where's that going? How much do you really have? So, like, that's the mentality that has to change. And I think I just read this, like, Texas is trying to incorporate financial literacy in schools.
I love that.
Love it, right? Like, you need, like, that needs to be like in the curriculum from everybody. Like, let's learn about the taxes and all that stuff. Like, we need to know how to balance a checkbook. We got AI for that now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's learn about like some financial literacy. Understand that like money's an emotional thing. You know, we're so attached to it because it's emotional. But for me, like, I don't know. I just had this sense of I don't need a lot. I really don't need a lot. Like, I kid you not, when I was living at my place in Illinois and California, Jim would come to my house, especially my place in California. It was a studio. I had 4 things in there. I had
lawn chair, TV.
You can name it.
In a bed.
And then, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I needed. I had a TV, a chair, a bed, and a folding table that I got from my uncle.
There you go.
That's all I needed, right? She's like, why do you have all this? Like, why don't you have anything here? I don't need much,
You're
right?
there to
Like,
sleep too.
I gotta sleep. I worked out, and I'm back sleeping again. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just train. I don't know how I train myself on that aspect.
That's a rare quality.
You know, yeah, but like I'd say, it always just goes back to where you like how you've been raised, where you're from.
I was about to say it started. From
I do know what he likes to spend money on. Some swaggy ass shoes.
Oh yeah, I got some nice shoes. Yeah, I do got some nice shoes. Yeah.
Facts.
A couple shoes.
Facts. Got to be blue though. Got to be blue.
I love blue
My shoes cost more than my rim. It's cool.
I like nice shoes. Like I got a couple nice things,
Hey,
you know.
It's a
you
thing.
deserve it, brother.
It's a way to connect with people. And we wear cool shoes every time we go to events.
Yeah.
It's just, hey man, those are cool shoes. Like, what are those?
Yeah.
It's a great way to connect with people. Like, our big thing is back to approach. Just drop a compliment. You can talk to anybody. Hey man, haircut looks great today.
Yeah.
Hey, what a watch. Nice shoes. Man, are you really that tall? Shit.
Conversation starters, man.
Yeah,
That's what to get the connection, right?
Right.
But when it comes to like finishing off on the money stuff, live within your means, and that's just anybody, right? Like if you're getting this paycheck and you know this is what you're getting, why do you want to live outside your means? Who are you trying to impress? What is the void that you're trying to fill? Like ask yourself those questions, you know, like. And everything will take care of itself, in my opinion. Like that's just one small, simple sample size, right? But I just seen it happen to so many guys. Like we're getting to league, you making all this money, and then you're so attached to the NFL that you're getting this paycheck that when you leave, you want to get the same paycheck. So now you're just trying to make this investment. Now you're just like, not every investment's going to make you rich, man. Come on, what are we talking about? Like,
right.
There's more businesses that fail than there are that like succeed. Come on now, like and why are they asking you? Why can't they get this investment from the hedge funds guys who knows that this is going to be a good investment? They're asking you because you got dumb money, man.
Facts.
Start using our brain a little bit more.
You might have some financial advising in your future, my friend.
I just got advising in my future, man. So what I did, and I tell people this all the time, what I did and throughout my career, from the moment I played football till the moment I stopped, and then still continue this today, I listened. A lot of people don't listen no more. A lot of people don't listen anymore. Like, just literally shut up and just listen. If somebody's saying something, listen. I don't care if you think they're full of shit or not. Why? Because that can help you someday. The fools can help you someday, right? But you said two fools are talking. What do you say about it?
To argue with the fool makes two.
Argue with the fool makes two. But if you're not arguing with the fool, what does that make you?
You're learning.
Observing.
I'm just hearing you out now, right?
It's funny you mentioned that too, because we talked about this personally a lot. I won't talk poor about my father, but he was the perfect example of the man I didn't want to be. And to me, I learned so much from that at a young age, because I knew if I did, it's sad but true, anything similar to what he did in his life, that I was going to be ending up in his position one day. So I did the exact opposite and got to, further in life for sure. But then at a certain point, I had to make the switch of, okay, I've never been my father, and I've got to get out of this negative mindset of doing everything opposite of what he's doing.
Facts.
And step into what I know I need to do.
You're you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm me.
You're no one else.
I've always been me.
Yeah. You're no one else. And you're your best version of yourself right now, and where you are right now in your life too.
But like you said, that can be a big. You can learn a lot from fools, to be honest,
yes,
because what not to do. Exactly.
But I would take it a step further too with that. I completely agree with you on that, and I feel the same way when it comes to fathers.
Really?
You know what I did?
What's that?
I talked to him and asked him about that stuff, about the mistakes that he made, about the decisions that he made, how he got to this point. What just talk to him more. Ask the fool, right? I'm not saying my pop's a fool or anything like that, because he has a lot of wisdom, because he's sharing it back with me,
Right.
Talk to him all the time now. Completely different relationship than we had 15 years ago,
Yeah.
Talk to him all the time, because I know that you have wisdom, and I need that wisdom for my life, so I can be aware, right? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just continue to try to be aware of everything going on around me.
You love to learn.
I love to learn. Like once you stop learning, like I think you're dead. Like,
you go hang out with Charles, and just in life, it's question. We went to what was it, escape room?
Yeah.
Bro, you asked 100 questions before we got in there.
Why not?
Because you love to learn.
Why not?
You love to learn. I've noticed that about you.
Yes.
You're just intrigued by things. You're not afraid to ask.
And that's
so important.
You just said it. Fear.
Fear.
Not afraid to ask. I think that stops more people than anything in this world.
And
Fear.
It's funny you bring that up because we're only born with 2 fears. Do you know what they are?
Give them to me.
Fear of falling and fear of loud noises. All the other fears that we have in life, fear of abandonment, fear of being a failure, all of those are emotional, which means they're not real because they haven't happened. And you're only afraid of them because you have some traumatic experience where you felt like a failure or you felt like you weren't who you were putting out there. And so to be afraid of stepping up on stage and speaking to people about you, your story, and some wisdom you might have, it's like being afraid of the boogeyman in the closet because it's not real. You're putting that on yourself for no reason. God's with you the whole time.
Come on.
What do you have to worry about if you're praying? You're not trusting him if you're worried.
Thank you for that.
I just learned that.
That is it. I love that. I love that. I'm using that. I have never heard that. And I will take that and I'm a listener. I'm a listener.
I know you are.
I'm a learner and I'm a listener. I'm going to use that.
That's why it's a good group today.
Heck yeah, great group, man. This is awesome.
We try to, our biggest thing is never the answer. It's always the question.
Yep.
For people to unlock their own answer is the secret. If you can question those kids in football and help them identify their own truth, then they believe their truth. That's the thing that I wish I would have had when I was younger. Wish I would have believed my own truth instead of trying to listen to everybody else tell me what I should do. So it's been another great episode.
Amazing.
The Shift Show. Charles, legend. So grateful, so thankful. Chris, you got anything to close this off?
Just thank you for your time again, man. This guy's got 3 kids, a wife, tons of other things going on outside of that. He drove an hour and a half to be here today with us, so just appreciate you coming, man. Always a blessing.
No problem. Thank you for having me anytime.
Next time.
Peace.